campus police just like busted in and was like, freeze! Like,
What's going on, y'all? This is Paranoid Grower. I have a special guest with me today. He is a breeder within our community. I read a quote from Gene Vanier today and thought of you that says, "One of the marvelous things about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't as individuals. When we pool our strength and share the work and responsibility, we can welcome many people, even those in deep distress, and perhaps help them find self-confidence and inner healing." Alebrije Genetics, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. What a beautiful quote. I totally agree, and think it's community is so important for that reason.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. What are we smoking on today, sir?
I'm going to be puffing on a little bit of Sunny Tibuwawa that was grown and gifted to me by our good buddy Endo over in the Slow Lane. Got it from the pop-up last week, and it's so nice. It's very relaxing, uplifting. I thought it'd be a good one for the show today.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I got some of that flower from him back during my extended Paranoid Freedom tour, and I was just highly impressed by the terpenes that came off of that plant. Like
he crushed it, man.
Oh, for sure.
So did all of the testers. It was cool at the event that there was like a couple different ones, a few different phenos from a few different growers going around. There was one that Gannick had grown that he took like 110 days, like super far, and
wow.
it's like a knockout. So it's fantastic. But I wouldn't want to be like puffing it here on the show today because it put me down. But Endo's is really nice and uplifting. It's one of those strains where it can, like, if you harvest on the earlier end or maybe just have a lighter dose, it's great, perfect daytimer, super uplifting. But if you push it, deep into maturity, or you like take a few like intense bong rips of it, you can be asleep in seconds. So it can span the gauntlet. It's definitely a nice hybrid there.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm a very big fan of it so far, that the little bits that I've got to try of it. So I'm definitely happy for you.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you've gotten to try it already.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Also, I believe I got some from Grateful as well. So I've tried a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think I got some of his rosin of it, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. There's so much weed going around at the party and lots of rosin, and I got a lot of nice gifts afterwards. So thanks to all you guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm smoking on your Balanced Gatuga. It's actually a mixture of Balanced Gatuga and Tangy CBG.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice little salad of cannabinoids you got going.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I actually have a little story to tell you about the whole Balanced Gatuga later on. But it's been a special one for me. And I've actually been hanging on to these 2 nugs for this podcast.
Yes.
Just so I can, smoke it and experience it with you. So
hell yeah, I love that. It's one I've actually revisited recently. And
oh, for real?
I actually back-crossed the original CBD parent side, which was the red pure CBD, onto the Balanced Gatuga to make kind of a more higher CBD version of it.
Nice.
Hopefully. I got to get out to that testing facility you recommended to me to do some confirmation, but
yeah, it's a good one, man. I'd highly recommend them. New Bloom Lab in Chattanooga.
Nice.
Definitely would recommend going to them. The results came back really quick, and I had a really good experience with them. Everything, it's all emails, so it makes it that much easier. I can't travel back and forth easy, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's one that's within distance of me that I could make it up there. The only thing, unfortunately, I just learned that as of January 1st of 2026, that all testing facilities will only accept material from DEA registered licensed grow operation. So yeah, I realized I either like need to really get on the ball and like get it grown and tested by December, or gonna have to pivot and find something else. Fortunately, I do have some friends who are like, licensed, registered growers that maybe they could grow and test. But
Right.
yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do it myself. Of course, we're like making that more difficult, typical of our government.
Oh, for sure. Well, now it just makes me want to create my own lab at this point now, just to be able to test or something. Just that way I would know.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the at-home testing devices on the market right now are not that accurate. There's the like My DX, there's the T-Check, and the Purple Scientific, and I haven't heard great things about any one. But I was like scoping out some of the proper machines. They're in the $16,000 to $20,000 range, and it's
Oh
like,
my God.
it's pricey, very pricey. But like, man, that would be nice to be able to like have that in your own hands and not have to rely on outside sources. And it'd be awesome for someone within the community to have one where we could all be like sending our flower to that person.
Oh,
Master
sure.
Yoda was looking into it at one point. I never heard exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anybody listening to the podcast, if you want to be our lab tech, please reach out.
Yeah, definitely. The community needs one.
Oh, for sure. Well, what did you get into this weekend?
I actually got all the hoodies. We did a hoodie drop, a pre-sale recently, and the printer is about an hour away from me, so they were all ready to go yesterday. So I drove out and picked them up, and then the wife and we packaged all the Vandal seeds, which are the freebies coming with it.
Nice.
I saw you ordered one, so I appreciate your support, sir.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then I watched my team win their football game yesterday, my college team, and so that was awesome. And today I just woke up, took the dogs on a nice walk. I puffed on some of Cumin's mystery mezcla that he also gifted me in the pop-up. And man, it's been a very, very chill day so far.
That's great.
How about yourself, man?
Well, I been cleaning my house. I moved recently, and I had to get a lot of boxes out yesterday, like breaking down boxes. So that's why I worked on yesterday.
It's a good feeling.
Oh yeah, for sure. It just doesn't seem like I'm really doing a dent in anything though, because the back of my truck is completely full of broke down boxes, bags of trash, and it still looks the same in here. So I haven't really figured that part out yet. But
it always looks worse before it looks better. That's part of the cleaning and organizing. There's some phases within it where you're like, I thought I was making progress, but it doesn't look like it. But you are. You're chipping away.
Oh, for sure. And then my daughter sold her car yesterday, so that was her first experience with selling a car, and we had to like barter and all that stuff.
Yeah. That's a life experience for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, she's definitely getting that full on Facebook Marketplace experience.
Nice.
But yeah, then also I got rid of my Dozer Village, which is my AKA. I had the spider mites.
Oh.
Yeah, I brought in a clone from someone, and it had spider mites, and it got on all of my plants. Luckily, it was just in my armoire, so I just went ahead and chucked everything. I'm just going to do deep clean for the next month, and then I'll start back growing in there again. But I did go ahead and start up my 5x5 today.
Nice. What you got coming in there? I
started some BGG testers, and then also I got the seeds I got from the pop-up this past weekend. It's the Chi-Town Taroso, and I went ahead and tried the freebie. It was the Jordan Stretch.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Yeah. So would you mind telling us about those two cultivars?
Yeah, for sure. So, Jordan Stretch was one of the freebies. It is an F4 generation of my Rainbow Guava number 5 time by Tangy Tibaguana project. And so I call the like general cross tangy rainbows, but this was a particular pheno of the F4 generation, and the mom was the J pheno. They were like, I had A through M.
Oh, wow.
Seed moms, but the J was huge. The seed mom, it was as tall as me, which I'm 6'5", and it was in like a 1-gallon pot. It wasn't like I had a lot of seed moms in there, so it wasn't like this massive plant. It didn't have the space to stretch horizontally, but vertically it shot straight up. And all the testers have like also proven that same extreme stretch. So that was, I was like, trying to come up with Chicago themed names and stuff for everything
Right.
in the pack. So Jordan and his infamous stretch logo was quickly came to mind. But so that one, it was meant to be a big hash yielding strain. In fact, Little Canny, who was at the pop up, I think he's the only one that's washed that one, and he pulled like 4.9% off the fresh frozen,
Oh, wow.
including all the various micron sizes, including food grade and stuff. But he had like 1,800 grams of fresh buds off one single plant. So it ended up being like 88 grams of hash off of one autoflower.
Wow.
Yeah, it can dump. It's like terp wise, it's got a lot of fruity and funky notes. That side, I didn't want to keep carrying that inbred line going. I was mostly with this project chasing after the rainbow guava #5 traits, and the J has a little more tangy coming through. Still a lot of the rainbow guava notes and whatnot, especially in the terps, it's like very fruity and like raunchy funk. It gets a lot of tropical notes, but also some like grape and lemon Skittles specifically in there. And then, yeah, just some like rotten fruit kind of funk. It can be very raunchy. It was always like the term that came to mind immediately. So yeah, she's a solid one. And then the Chi-Town Taroso is an F3 generation of the Star Crunch from Night Owl Seeds with my
Okay.
Dog Walker, which was my original Star Dog photo period using the Skywalker auto to convert all the way to auto. And so that one was the first freebie in my very first drop ever. The F1s were in my original Tangy Tibaguana packs. And a bunch of people grew them out and had great results. And so that's why I do all the freebie testers. Is I make a lot more seeds than I always have time or space to grow myself. And so it's nice just throwing them out in the community at times, things that I might have a hunch that might be pretty good. And that one definitely hit the marks, and I got a lot of great feedback on it. So that was back in 2022. So these last few years, I kept inbreeding it, and finally dropped it at F3 as the Chi-Town Taroso, which was our bull bear Alebrije for Chicago. And it's a really nice bushy plant. Again, it's very much hybrid style effects, but lots of zesty cheese notes and spicy kind of funk going on there. Also some fruit and gas. It's a really, really gassy one. So it can rip for sure. I've been using that one more in the evenings lately.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. It'll inhibit you getting stuff done during the day, at least
Oh,
for
okay.
me.
Well, I'm
So
glad you mentioned that because I'm definitely need to make sure to take that at nighttime then. If that's the
yeah, I
case.
mean, it's not like a full on indica style put you to sleep or anything. I think if you push it on the maturity, it could be.
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely like it makes my mind relax, but I lose focus. So not the greatest for like daytime stuff, but it's great for when you're after work and chilling on the couch watching a movie or something. It's a solid one.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been growing since I moved, and starting from seed. So this is my first starting from seed from this new place. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch you grow 'em.
Yeah, thank you. The reason why we meet on this podcast is the events that we meet up at, and the event that you and I met up at was your event. It's a Alebrije pop up in 2025 in Logan Square, District of Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, sir.
The location, by the way, was incredible. Like hands down, it was freaking awesome.
Thank you. I was super stoked at the venue. You know, when I booked these things online, I'd never been to Chicago ever in my life.
Really?
Yeah, never been to the Midwest. Actually, that was my very first time to any Midwestern state. So
Wow.
it was really cool. Chicago was a great way to dip the toes in. But yeah, like the venues, I never know exactly how it's going to go. Pictures, you know, can be deceiving at times. So I was really pleased with the space and how it all worked out for our party. It was perfect.
Yeah. How did you find that place?
I start just by like searching, just like general Google searches for cities, and I've learned. So this is our third one. We did Richmond in 2023, then we did LA in 2024, and then Chicago this year. So I've learned that for the smoking aspect, they have to be outdoors. And like I definitely need to ask ahead of time and like clear that. That's the last issue I would ever want, is like in the middle of the pop-up, the owner to come in and be like, what is this? Like
Right.
shut this down. Like, so like I start by looking for outdoor venues and scoping out pictures and price range. Like a lot of these outdoor venues are geared for weddings, and wedding budgets are outrageous, and that's just not my budget at all. And so I've got to look for things within my budget, and there's always insurance and taxes and things on top of all the costs. So it's a matter of finding something that I think could hold the number of people and the outdoor space, and they're gonna let us smoke marijuana, and it's within budget. So there's a couple of websites. Pure Space has been one that's I think I booked both LA and Chicago through, where I ended up finding a place. It's kind of like the Airbnb, but of event kind of venues and such.
Oh, so I didn't know that existed. Okay.
Yeah, and so I found it on there, cleared the weed. They said it was all cool. Everything looked great in the photos. There was one little hitch. I in the photos there was like a kitchen and fridge and oven and all set up, and we wanted to get the Pequod's deep dish to serve, and Pequod's didn't deliver to the area, so I had to get some frozen ones the night before, and you're supposed to like bake them for 30 minutes in the oven. I was like, oh, it's all cool. We got an oven at the venue. And then we got there, and the guy's like, oh no, you have to let us know ahead of time. Like that's a separate cost and like a separate part of the venue and whatnot. And I was like, oh fuck, like we're screwed. Like, what are we gonna do? And we got so lucky. It turns out like 3 couples at the pop-up had like rented the Airbnb and figured out that it was like right there at the location. And so they actually had the Airbnb and access to the kitchen and everything, which was perfect. So shout out to Gannick and Growmy and was it Green Velvet? Who I forget.
No, it was Judas.
Judas, yeah, of course, Mr. Judas. Shout out to you guys for locking that place down. That worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I was super surprised when they told me about that. How they geocached from the picture that you had posted. That's how they found. Right.
I only wish they had invited me to stay there too. It would have made my life way easier getting all this stuff set up and things.
Right.
But no, it was so cool that they did that, and then.
Well, that was part of
access to that saved the day.
Hold on, you broke up right there. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I just said, yeah, it was awesome. They did that. They just saved the day.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they absolutely saved the day. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they absolutely saved the day for sure. Like that was really cool being able just to sit back and watch them, because it seemed like that was mainly one of the reasons why I chose that quote, is because just sitting back and watching everybody helping everybody out was just an amazing thing to witness. Like I that blew me away, how everybody just came together and just helped each other out. Like for sure.
So true. Like all you guys that like showed up early and were just helping me set up. It's a really overwhelming for me to just like walk into the venue. I've never been there before, meeting the manager of the place who's trying to show me around. And then there's like 5 or 10 people who are there to help. And I'm trying to give some direction, but I've got like an overactive mind, which is why I use weed. And like it's overwhelming for me, all that's going on at once. But like so many people were just so good and just like weren't worried about it. You guys just set up some tables and put out the food. I remember we were running low on drinks, and I was gonna have to go grab drinks in the middle of the party. And Dad Terps was like, "What can I do to help you? You know, like let me go out for you." I was like, "Nah, it's all good. Like I got it." But like the offers to help were left and right, and it really is such a great group of people, honestly. And I'm so proud to like call these people my friends. And it's awesome. It sucks that we don't live closer, all of us, but it's awesome that we can come together in smaller groups around the country here or there. But I love that, you know, our event in September is now like become the place where we all get together, and it's so much fun to just see all you guys who we're chatting with every single day anyway. But it's definitely a different vibe when it's in person, and thereafter, once you've met all these people in person, you have a completely different relationship with them. At least that's how I feel from my experience. Is that do you feel the same? You've met so many growers in the community.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I've it's been interesting. You know, I've had the conversations with these people online through Discord and through the voice chats, but when you actually meet them in person, you actually get to know the real person, and then you find out that they're just like you know, and it makes it so much easier because you do have that common goal of the cannabis in your life, but then also everything around it, like the family and the friends and friendship and everything that comes with it. It's been definitely eye opening for me to really experience the love. I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm like stoned to shit.
Oh, no, you're all good. I've noticed too, like, yeah, it's nice to be all together and like have that interconnectedness. But it's also nice to see like some of the true personalities behind the screen time, because I see some big personalities online, but then in person you can tell the person is very shy and has a lot of social anxiety, and it's like, whoa, like wouldn't have really expected that from you. The way you comment and the way you chat and joke around on Discord or whatnot. It's like I wouldn't have expected you to be so super shy or whatever, but that's how I am. Like deep down I'm a very shy, reserved person. It takes I need to actually like get to know you before I can really open up and chat and feel comfortable.
For sure.
I've got big social anxiety, so it is like it's a good medicine for us to get together and like break down some of these walls and see that we do have this, you know, in common, and we are maybe more on the shy side, and it helps me breach that and work on that aspect of myself every year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the social anxiety part is 100% real. Like I still get it every time I go to meet somebody new. And especially at that pop-up, I know like everybody was having to deal with the social anxiety part for sure. Like just the conversations I was having with everybody. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not alone in this situation. Like that definitely made me feel better, because I was like, okay, I actually feel pretty good. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Last year in LA, I mean, like Mr. Judas was like the first one to roll up, and he was like, first thing out of his mouth, he's like, "I have like terrible social anxiety." He's like, "Oh, great, I do too." Like literally, I'm like dripping sweat over here. So thank you for saying that. It makes me feel more comfortable too.
Right. Oh, for sure.
We're all going through it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, at your pop up, you had the coffee and mugs for sale, which I ended up picking up one of each. Was really cool.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah. So tell me about those mugs. Who makes those mugs?
So that's my wife. Who did you get a chance to meet her? She was up front. Okay. She's on Instagram as Alebrije Ceramics, but she's been my right hand through all this whole process of doing Alebrije, and and it's her Mexican heritage that is the inspiration behind the whole brand in the first place. And but yeah, so she got into doing ceramics about a little after I kind of started doing Alebrije, but like around the same time. It wasn't that far after. So our very first year uh, at our holiday merch drop, she had kind of been working on these mugs, and we had a friend do a 3D print of our logo that she could stamp into the mugs, and it just became like a thing. And then so she did them again. They sold out quickly. She only did like 10 or something the first year, and then the next year maybe she did 20 and they sold out. And then she did them again a third time, and they've just like done really well and sold out quickly. Everybody loves them. So she she wanted to do some specifically for the party. And we had just been to Greece this past spring, and in Athens, Greece, like the graffiti scene is just out of control, and we both found it very inspiring. And as soon as we came back, she was like, I want to do like some Alebrije, like, logos in this graffiti, different graffiti fonts, like on the sides of mugs. And she just started working on it, and they turned out so cool, that like each one was very different lettering, fonts, different colors. And then she added a bunch of little, like, mini spray paint details, and little, she put 420 and put the date of the pop-up on some of them. She actually, like half of them, actually, she mixed up the date of the pop-up, because in Mexico and Europe, you write the day and then the month and then the year. But
Right.
so some of them look like it says June 9th, even though it's really September 6th.
Right.
But it's all part of the story. But had a lot of little details related to Chicago and the pop-up hidden in the mug. So she had a lot of fun making them, and it meant the world to her that you guys enjoyed them and snatched them up so quickly.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I like having mugs. My mom was a coffee drinker, and I always liked that smell of coffee. Even though I don't drink it, I will brew some coffee every once in a while just to kind of bring that memory back.
Yeah,
And
it can just be like a household aroma.
exactly, yeah. But your coffee, that was another thing. I'd gotten some of your coffee on my birthday from Bandit for Meds and Max Torque. They gave it to me as a birthday gift.
Oh, nice.
And I ended up bringing it back, and Grateful and I drank that coffee while he was here for Billy Strings concerts and stuff. So that
Nice.
that was nice to be able to have that. But now I've got some more coffee from you. I noticed it was a little bit different than the last batch. What did you have on this batch?
So this one, it was just like a different varietal in general. The first one it also had an Ethiopian, but this was a different Ethiopian. It was Queen City Harar, from the Harari People's State of Ethiopia.
Okay.
And I like it because it's just really, I like the funky fermented coffees, and it brings a lot of fruity, same like I like in my weed. Most of my weed is very fruity and funky, and that's how I like my coffee too. It's a lot of fruity, funky notes. But yeah, the fruit pulp is all fermented on the bean before it gets washed off, and it leaves a lot of those like sour funk notes.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a really good one. It also, like, just on the nose, even just in the bag, it's got a very like buttery kind of aromas, and when you grind it and brew it, a lot of butter notes. Um, so yeah, it's a fun one. I had like a small. Sometimes I buy just like a 10-pound bag of green beans or whatever, just something I want to try. And that was one that I had like bought up a smaller amount, so I had enough to just do like 10 bags for the pop up, and I'd done some for myself, and that was it. And it's gone. But I've got another one. I'm doing a Sunny Tibuwawa blend, inspired by the strain that I'm dropping this fall. So I'll have another coffee that sort of like goes along with that strain coming this fall.
Oh wow, that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, a hot sauce as well with Sam's the House. So I've been having fun doing these things, like inspired specifically by one of my strains. It's like, oh, let's create a hot sauce with some of those flavor profiles, and how about a coffee that has some of the same regional genetics as the strain too, and just some different ways to express and be creative.
Oh, for sure. I love the way you think. It's so cool.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
No, I just like I'm a foodie at heart, so a lot of it comes back to that. I was a chef for 10 plus years, and then got into
wow.
beverage development, and so yeah, anything food and beverage, I like to nerd out on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, dude, I appreciate you sharing all that.
Yeah, man, a lot of exciting stuff in the works.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. When is that drop going to be happening?
It's going to be November 5th,
November 5th.
on the
Okay.
full moon of November.
Nice.
Trying to like get away. We used to do it a little later in the month, but it's like those Black Friday sales have gotten so extreme and move earlier and earlier every year that trying to like get out ahead of those a little bit, and just sort of like so we can do our final pop and drop of the year, get everything shipped out, and then just sort of like take a little chill time during the holidays.
Oh, for sure. Another thing I wanted to mention was I'm so glad you chose Pequod's Pizza for the event. Like Pequod's is a shit. I really like them a lot. I got to try them when I went up to. It was like the day after the meeting at the G's over Christmas.
Yeah.
Badger and I and his daughter went to Pequod's and actually picked up a pizza and brought it back to his daughter's house and ate it. And I was like, this is really good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I know. I would really wish we could have like had it fresh baked from them. That would have been made life easier. And like that was one of the few flaws of the party was that we had the Pequods we were baking, then we had like more thin crust pizzas coming from I'm trying to remember something Wolf that was there in the neighborhood, and then we had fried chicken being delivered separately, and like everything kind of like landed at different times, so it's sort of difficult when people are like trying to get their plate of food and then like something else would come out later. But every year I try to like analyze how we can improve and like make next year's a little better. And last year we didn't do food, and this year we did. That was one improvement, was just so people could hang out longer and not feel like they needed to bail out and head to dinner. But yeah, I want to do a little tighter job with the dinner next year. But yeah, the Pequods was perfect. We were fortunate to have some leftovers the next day for our lunch.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it hit the spot for sure. It was like focaccia bread on the dough practically. It was so good.
Oh yeah. I definitely ended up gorging a little bit myself. Just couldn't help it. I love that stuff. Also, I wanted to mention about the tangy treat gummies that you'd had in the gift bag from the event.
Yeah, so those were made with full-on tangy tibuguana RSO or Fika. I heard your Indo episode recently, and I always forget. Indo's so proper and precise with his terminology, and I tend to call everything RSO because I guess I think of it as the final end product is Rick Simpson oil. It's not supposed to have residual solvents or anything, but I guess Fika is technically made with food grade alcohol, and RSO is technically with like a different solvent that I've never used. I've only ever used alcohol, but okay, it was a tangy tibuguana Fico. And then yeah, I made like 2 different flavors. They were all honey based gummies, so it was just honey and gelatin and the RSO and some flavors and whatnot, a little bit of arrowroot starch. And one flavor was mango, lime, coconut, and the other was gardenia, yuzu, grapefruit. They were just supposed to kind of like, if you ate them together, sort of bring out some of the flavors of tangy. But yeah, they were about like, I estimated them around 10 milligrams each or so. I've heard some people eating them in the last couple of days. Apparently, like they were pretty strong for them, but it really goes to show what like a wide range. I can eat like 6 or so of those, before bed. Yeah, I mean, we just all have like a wide range of tolerance.
Oh, for sure.
So I tried to keep them on what I thought was the low end, but I guess not for everybody. Man, we had some killer edibles all around at the party. Honestly.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, Istig had that table set up right there near the entrance. of the
Yeah.
event.
He had the golden grams and the Cocoa Krispies and the double strength brownies. I took a bunch of those home. Man, Dad Terps and Mrs. Dad Terps bringing gift bags for everybody. I crushed all of those Fruity Pebbles and the funfetti cookies and whatnot. Man,
Oh yeah.
so many good edibles.
Oh, for sure. Your gummies though, I do want to thank you for how you source your ingredients. Like there's some great ingredients that you had in there. They tasted wonderful, and I tried them myself the other night, and it definitely helped me out.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm very health conscious about my own consumption and things like that. And especially when, I take these things medicinally, I try to avoid sugar and things. And so I'm not always sure what other people are into. Um, but I try to push some healthier forms of medicine if possible. But yeah, they were like pure. It was just honey and RSO and grass-fed gelatin, pretty much, and some natural flavors. So all ingredients you can feel pretty good about, and some organically grown, naturally processed tangy RSO.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
no, it's great, man. I really appreciate you doing all that. Like, putting forth the effort of being healthy and pushing that is really good. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, you
yeah,
too. I know you're not much of a sugar consumer or at
right,
all.
right.
Um,
Yeah, I've been cutting back. Especially for like the last 9 months now. I started in right when I started this podcast is whenever I quit.
yeah, I've
Um,
been hearing you say it too, and
yeah,
we're the same. Like we quit a long time ago. We cheat
yeah.
at times. At least once a week we kind of cheat probably. So we're not like perfect by any means, but I think it's just like that effort and keeping it in mind and trying. And then every time I'm offered like a processed ingredient treat or something, I'm more quick to say no these days than I used to be.
Oh, for sure.
So it's slowly chipping away at it. But I think you and I are both in the age range where it really starts to matter about what you're eating and your environment and your exercise every day and things like that. That yeah, I time to start paying attention now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at this point in my life. Is once I hit that certain age, I was like, okay, I gotta stop treating my body like shit. So
Yeah, my dad and grandfather both had Parkinson's, and so it's something I'm very aware of, and it very much dictates how I think about health and moving into the future, and watching what they went through and how they went through it and their
right,
choices and things. Like I can definitely do things differently, and take my life into my hands a little more.
right. Yeah, you bring up the Parkinson's. My grandmother has Parkinson's, and it's kind of the same. I mean, she's been pretty good about watching what she eats, but but I know a lot of people still drink the diet sodas, and that's like one of the worst things you can do for yourself. Like, and there's a lot of studies that those sweeteners lead to Alzheimer's and all kinds of stuff. So it's like
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna put that additive in my body for sure. Like,
No, and
I gotta
my
stop
my
on that path.
my
Yeah.
dad was used those sweet and lows and Splendas and all those things for years. He put hazelnut coffee mate coffee creamer, which is loaded with sugar and artificial flavors and things in his coffee every morning for years. And these are just like little instances. Those are the first things of the day, let alone like all throughout the rest of his diet. It was just not that great. And probably around like by the time he hit 40, he's kind of stopped exercising and moving as much. And
Right.
that's when things are really start to matter. And so yeah, I'm trying to take a different path myself.
Oh, for sure. Same. Exact same.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Uh,
there something that I was wanting to bring up to you. So I didn't have a lot of exposure to you in our community. I was more like BGG and Outcast for a long time. Um, but whenever
Both great guys. Shout out.
oh yeah, for sure. But when I went to Muddy Roots last year with Grateful, we had there was downtime in between certain bands playing, so we would just be sitting at the campsite. And one of the discussions that we had was about you, and he had talked about going to both of your events, and before the Chicago event, and he's talked highly about, it's great, you have to come, like it's so much fun, you get to meet all these people, and I'm like, well, I totally got to do that. Like he's done convinced me, I've got to go, so I'm certainly glad that he did convince me into coming, because I'm so glad I finally got to meet you in person. I know we had the podcast with you and the crew. It was our first crew podcast, and I didn't get to talk to you as much back then, but it was nice being able to meet up with you in person and chat with you, and get to know the real you, which was really, really neat.
And I feel the same way. It's like you're one of those people, a pillar of the community. I hear your name, I see you active all over the place. But this is the same. Like if you haven't really floated around in my Discord as much or grown as many of my plants, I might not interact with you as much, just because there's so many people. But as soon as you've met someone in person, it changes everything. And
for sure.
now you and I have, it's just like a different vibe, once you've like met and chilled with someone in person. And regrettably, I wish I could kind of like hang out with everyone more at the pop-ups. I do, like I mentioned earlier, I do kind of like feel a bit overwhelmed with like the hosting duties at times, and making sure like things are flowing smoothly with the food and with the guests, flowing in, and trying to say hello and greet everybody. But I wish we could have chatted more, but it opened up the door that now, we're on a different level, and I feel the same way. I'm so thrilled to meet you. And yes, like back to what you were just saying, huge shout out to Grateful, man. He's been such a hardcore, strong supporter of ours for years now. He's the only person that's been to all 3 pop-ups, and none were anywhere close to where he lives. So a massive shout out to him for always making the trek. I've loved collabing with him on the 91 grapefruit strain, and with his mom on all the pottery plant markers the last few years. The Chi-Town Teresa was the last one she's going to do. So it was cool that he was there. And big shout out to Grateful, man.
Oh, for sure. Before I get into your garden, there's a story I want to tell you. I was actually want to tell you this earlier this year, but I'm glad that we're here now. We can go ahead and tell you the story. So my first introduction to you, was through Smiling Bear Gardens. A few years ago, I was off work for surgery. So I was off work for 6 weeks. I had plenty of downtime just to do whatever. So I just started getting where I was getting comfortable making salves. I had all the time in the world to do it. Well, during that time, Smiling Bear Gardens got into a bicycle accident. Somebody hit his bicycle with their car, and they took off. So his bike was all banged up. He was banged up. He was hurting. And my first immediate thought is, I'm going to help this dude. Like, I know of him because we were in the same community. So I ended up reaching out to him saying, "Hey, bro, do you need some salve? I can at least help you out that way." And he's like, "Yeah, man, that's fine. Do you want anything?" I'm like, "No, just, I just want you to feel better." So I went to the post office, sent him a couple containers of the salve, and he ended up helping him out. And so it was like a few months later, he had asked for my address, and I gave it to him, and I got a package in the mail, and it was from him, and it was your balanced Katuka, the actual whole box set.
Nice.
And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I wasn't expecting anything out of this. I was just helping him out. So it was just really cool to be able to get something back from that. And of course, it was the whole packaging. I'm used to buying seeds, like before, that part. I'd already been tested for BGG, so I was growing his stuff, but I was buying seeds from like white label companies, and you get their packaging, and it's just like a, a, a small envelope, and it's got a vial of seeds or whatever, right? And that's what I'm just used to getting. And then I get your package, and it's just like this extravagant thing, and there's all different kinds of stuff in it, the pen and stickers, and it's like this is great. Like I love this. Well, some time passes by, and after I meet Grateful and at Muddy Roots last year, YAG was throwing their grow along. It was Alebrije grow along, and there was a few people that had, and when we were talking, I think it was Badger and Matt Fratt and Jay Saw. We were in the group chat, and they asked me. They said, they got that Alebrije grow along. You going to do it? I'm like, well, I guess I can, because Smiling Bear sent me these seeds. I might as well, like I could do it. So I grew the balanced Katuga, and it was a wonderful plant. Like
Hell yeah.
I loved it. The colors off of it were amazing. The terpenes, everything was just perfect about it. So, and it was right before Christmas. So I went ahead and harvested it, and I brought it with me to Gatlinburg and smoked it there. And I got a picture of it. I don't know if you remember, it was a while back, but I was holding up the nug to the sun. I don't know why I did that, but I just did it. It was just beautiful. I was impressed by how beautiful the nugs were. But I ended up taking that balanced Katuga to the meeting of the G's at Jay Saw's house. And so I shared it with Howling Buds, Stony Alpinist, Jay Saw, Badger, and Back Nine Bandit. And they all loved it. I've shared it with Matt Fratt during that trip too. So, and I did share it with Flam and Ezekiel.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I
spreading the love all over.
I just went ahead and just started sharing it with everybody, and I've talked to people since that trip, and everybody always talks about that balanced Katuga. Like, that stuff was so fucking good. I'm like, I know, like, it's great.
Nice. I love that. Thank you, dude. Well,
yeah.
Well, that gets me even more stoked about working this back cross project, and hopefully going after all the same terps and traits, but maybe just upping the CBD numbers a little bit. I again couldn't ever say exactly, on the F1s what the ratio is always going to be. Hopefully it falls close to the 1-to-1 range, but yeah, that was one I loved. And I'm getting more and more as I get older. I get more into the mixed ratios and the minor cannabinoids and further healing properties. And I feel like in time I've sort of like burnt out my endocannabinoid systems over the years, and I just like I don't do super high THC. I don't like getting bombed all the time. It's like other cannabinoids have their time and place. So hearing other people respond well to that was my very first CBD release. So it makes me very happy to hear that.
Great, I'm glad.
Thank you.
What do you have currently growing on in your garden, sir?
Lots of CBD plants, actually. Right now there's only one left that has to get harvested. I kind of used the pop up as a turning point, where I was like most of the stuff got harvested right before, or within the week, 2 weeks before. But then I still had all these moms in my 5x5 that were with I made a pure CBD cross, but both strains were from Sweet Seeds in Spain. That's one thing I'm like actually very grateful for all these European white label brands is they did their work with the autoflowers on the CBD and hemp side. And I guess for, various legal reasons in countries in Europe, they had to be pretty, on top of making sure there wasn't certain quantities of THC. And so I made a cross of red pure CBD with sweet pure CBD. And that's mine now that I'm calling El Puro CBD, the pure in Spanish.
Nice.
And so I hit El Puro back to the Balanced Katuga, back to the Dogathon CBD, to several other like stress killer CBD, blackberry kush CBD, my purple stateradiol, which was another 1-to-1. Lots of CBD plants going on. Then I also had like a handful of full THC varieties. I hit the Sunny Tea and it didn't look like it took. I think I only have found a few like immature seeds, but it looked like it was a fully swollen, but didn't take. But I also hit strawberry nuggets from Mephisto. I hit blue power from Night Owl, and a couple others in there. I'm just always after making some new novel mixed ratios, and I'll test them and see if anything is worth moving forward or worth a release. But yeah, that was my most recent seed run. But also just before Chicago, I harvested these purple Pakistani Chitral Kush crossed with my Chem Labradas, the terp therapist made. And I bred this next generation. So I just chopped them, and they all are loaded with F2 seeds. So that's going to be my next fall winter big run, or my project for this fall winter is going to be hunting through those F2s looking for the full auto trait. So that'll be a fun one. And those are regs. So this is actually the first time my first 2 photo to auto conversions were done feminized the entire way through. And so this is the first time I'm doing it with reg seeds, which I'm kind of excited about because it sounds like it's going to be even easier. Like I don't even have to spray anything or be like on the lookout too close. I'm just planning to grow probably about 40 of these in small pots, and then under 24 hours of light. And then as the males show, I'll make a selection, and then just any other plants that start showing pistils under 24 will stick around, and I'll call everything else. And hopefully we'll end up with anywhere between 4 to 10 autos in there that keep working forward.
Heck yeah. You got a lot going on, sir.
yeah. Always like with too many projects going on. I'm also this week, I'm about to pop my bonsais. For every September I do a bonsai grow along. And so mine are going to be some beautiful pots that my wife made. They're all some different shades of blue, and mine are going to be little Greece themed. I picked up some different stones and shells on the beaches in Greece. And I got this glass evil eye, which is supposed to, ward off bad spirits in Greece, that I'm going to incorporate into my bonsai. So
that's awesome.
I'm going to get that started this week.
Yeah. Speaking of that bonsai, Grateful mentioned that to me whenever I was in Chicago. So I think I'm going to get on that. I've never done a can of bonsai.
You have to, dude, because it's you never have the excuse of like you don't have the space, because it's literally like the rules is it has to be a half gallon or smaller. So it's always something you can just squeeze an extra in the corner, and usually, since it's my seeds, they're usually autos, so it can go in your photo tin or wherever it needs to be, or a windowsill even. Indo's done windowsill before. It doesn't go as well as you might hope. But he's already been doing some practice rounds this year, and he looks like he's gonna crush it.
Heck yeah.
You got to get in on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got the Grateful Nerd pot that I got earlier, or I think it was last year, or it might have been earlier this year. But I plan on doing that. It's like a half gallon pot, and I'm gonna try to do that. And also, he gave me a bunch of the 91 grapefruit seeds.
Perfect.
So that's what I was going to try. Just popping one of those in there and hoping and praying for the best.
I like it because it's just good practice. It's something you go into without like a lot of, set goals, and you're not trying to pull a big harvest or anything. It's when you go into it just for fun. Again, it like takes on this different vibe, and it just allows you to mess around with the plant without like worrying about it too much.
Oh, for sure.
It's a good experience for sure.
Yeah.
And it teaches you a lot about the plant too, and what it can take and how it grows. And especially autos in these tiny little containers.
Right.
They can be funny.
Yeah, I've only ever done. I did put an auto in a solo cup one time and got something off of it, but it was just like enough to smoke a couple joints. That was it. You know, it was tiny. But I've seen some of these other can of bonsais, and they're huge. And I'm like, how are they doing this? Like,
It helps if they have some tangy in the genetics.
oh
They
yeah,
can tend to get pretty big still,
that's true.
even so. But yeah, sometimes it's just like having a super spongy medium and like a good, or like cocoa even can do still pretty big.
Okay,
But yeah, they're good. It's good experience just to train and test and stress them out and see what happens.
awesome. Well, I have some growing and breeding questions for you, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
fire away.
All right. How long have you been growing cannabis?
My first plants were like my junior year of high school.
Oh wow.
I was like in 2005. But I wouldn't say I've like been consistently growing since then. But whenever I've had the opportunity in apartments, I've done a lot of closet grows over the years. I've done a lot of guerrilla grows over the years. But I'd say much more consistently for like the last 8 years since I've been in this house. I've been like growing very regularly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Who or what got you into growing cannabis?
um my cheap nature. It was just when I discovered cannabis as like a 15-16 year old, and it instantly clicked with my ECS, and I like didn't know that at the time, but I knew I liked it. I knew it worked well for my personality and things. And so it was so expensive, as a high school kid without a job. It was like trying to buy it with just like money my parents gave me, to go out to dinner with friends or whatever. It was hard. And so I
Oh,
was like
sure.
immediately like, oh, this is just a plant. I can grow this. And I was always like going into Borders and Barnes and Noble. This is back in the early 2000s. And I'd go like sit in the magazine section and just like grab the High Times and read it. And so I was learning about growing and lighting and things like that. And then by the time I got into college, I like bought a HPS light, ordered some greenhouse seed company. It was their Big Bang. It was the name of the strain. It had like won some awards and had like it was used medicinally in Holland. It was like one of their like licensed strains for the medical grows in Holland. And so it seemed like a good one. So that's where I really like jumped off and like dove down the rabbit hole a little more, and finally like pulled a harvest. All my grows in high school didn't work out very well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So, what was your first harvest like then?
it was that Big Bang. We did it in a hydro bucket in just the clay pebbles or whatever those things are called, with the green. What is it? The General Hydroponics Trio. And I didn't know shit about it. I like fucked the nutrients so bad. I was like 18 years old, and this was at a friend's in college house whose parents just like rented the house, and it was in his closet, and we pulled something.
Right.
I mean, it was like compared to what I had done in high school, it was like leap years ahead, but light years ahead. I mean, uh, but yeah, it was like thinking back, it probably was not mature enough and was probably very like low in THC and things like that. Once you
Right.
see, when you're a kid and you see those like trichomes forming and you see the buds somewhat swollen, you're ready. You're ready to harvest. You're like, oh yeah, this is it.
Right.
But yeah, in time you learn about the maturation of trichome heads and in general sexual maturity of the plant.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Well, what type of nutrients do you use in your garden?
These days I just do like my own organic blend. It's just dry powders. It's a combo. In my a zine a couple months ago, I released the recipe. So if you're listening to this and interested, it's out there. You can find it in the in the link on the announcements of my Discord. There's all the zine links are in there. You can go find the one that says with the living soil, but it's got mostly stuff from down to earth nutrients, as well as the Montana grows silica, and I like Dino Myco for my mycorrhizal. I always get like a nice. I'll tend to. I just mix about a tablespoon of this mix I make per gallon. I recycle all my soil after the grows. I let it fully dry out, throw it in bins, and then I rehydrate it, mix it with my own homemade bokashi. I let that sit for like 4 to 6 months or longer sometimes, depending. I've kind of built up a nice stash of soil over the years. I bought more and more, 17 and 30-gallon totes. But so I'll recycle my soil, and then I'll go back and mix in roughly a third of peat moss, and I'll add about a tablespoon per gallon of this nutrient mix. And then when they're starting to flower, I'll add another tablespoon or two on top with a little diamico, and that's it. So I'm a very lazy organic grower with a very simple system, but I've just found that it works for me. And yeah, I don't think I'll go back to buying nutrients from anybody.
Yeah, I'd like to eventually get to that point of being able just to make my own. I recently just got to build a soil, and I'm trying to run of that. But yeah, with this having this new place, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just try to start making my own stuff.
Yeah, mine was totally inspired. I used to use Nature's Living Soil, their autoflower concentrate, and that was 100% the inspiration. It was like, oh, okay, there's like, I can add one product for the whole run. And it's like, once you realize it's like, you just want to give the plant a little bit of everything, balanced ratio, and then it will pick what it needs. And it, as things are breaking down organically, it's not going to like burn it or anything. It kind of just can take what it needs as you go. And I'll incorporate my own labs as microbes and things. So just a little microbes, a little mycorrhizae, and a little, buffet of organic nutrients tends to do pretty well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
What type of equipment do you use in your garden?
Very old. I'm due for an upgrade, and I have like I've already purchased most of the upgrades, but I've got an array. I've got 6 different tents. Some are all the more recent ones are AC Infinity, but I have the big 5x5s Mars Hydro, and I have a couple smaller 2x3s that are Vivo Suns, and then I've got a mix of lights. I've got some Spider Farmers. I've got some Vivo Sun. No, not Vivo Sun. I've got Spider Farmers and my Mars Hydros. And then I also have like a couple of the newer AC Infinity ones. But I've purchased 5 new 5x5 tents. And with those, I got 5 new 800-watt Medic Grow bar lights that I'm going to be using. But I don't use any auto pots or earth boxes or anything. I just use fabric pots. I hand water everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it can be a lot because at times, I did the math, and I'm growing upwards of 150 to 200 plants a year. They're all various sizes. Some are like just in little like pint nursery bags. I grow a lot of quantity. It's not always for the biggest quantity of a single plant, but I like to see numbers when testing things. So I'll sometimes line these little 2x3 tents with 20 plus pint bags of soil, and I'll lollipop them and just grow straight up, just so I can see what each terpene profile is like and some of the general basic characteristics. But numbers wise, I do allegedly grow a lot of plants per year. But it's all hand watered, so it gets to be a chore at times.
That is a chore, dude. I used to hand water, and I used to carry 40 plus gallons of water upstairs every week. And I hated doing that. Like
Yeah.
I switched over to auto pots after that. I was like, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah, and I would like to get something a little more automated. At the same time, I think it's one of the best nutrients for your plants is the gardener is being in there and being present every day.
Oh, for sure.
But that doesn't mean like if you have an automatic watering system, that doesn't mean that you can't go in there and just look at them and mess around a little bit. But nah, yeah, one day I'll be a little bit more automated.
Oh, for sure. Will you provide a brief overview of your breeding philosophy and goals?
Yeah, I have a very like wide range of breeding philosophy. I used to think I wanted to like, narrow myself into one category and maybe I have a bit with autoflowers, but within that I'm interested in everything. Like I like working with landrace stuff. I like working with modern hype strains. I like mutants. I like various minor cannabinoids, CBDs and CBG stuff. And I was like, I don't really ever want to paint myself into one box. I don't think I'll ever necessarily like start selling a bunch of photo periods or anything, but I'll certainly include them and have in the past, and some freebies here or there or whatnot. But yeah, I like to work with any and every type of cannabis plant out there. But in general, one of my big goals and what I'm doing with Alebrije is trying to bring more traits, more different minor cannabinoids that we might not even know about, different terpenes, different profiles into the autoflower gene pool. I see like such a strong potential with autoflowers for home growers, for people in various regions that have short seasons and they need some quick turnaround plants, for people who are just lazy. The grandma who doesn't care, she wants to pull a harvest but isn't gonna like geek out about it, and she can just throw this in a pot outside. I think the autoflowers have a lot of potential, and so I think just putting more work into expanding the gene pool and bringing more. That's particularly like why I like doing more of the land racy stuff, because I feel like there's a lot of medicinal potential, and I think through years of uh, the photo period world, like selecting for high THC and certain bag appeal, I think we've lost probably a lot of these little minor traits, and that's kind of why you see a lot more like strains giving ceiling highs these days. Is like, who knows what all those little miners are doing. And so yeah, just wanting to bring a lot of that stuff into the auto gene pool and make it more accessible, especially some of these like long sativas that are impractical for commercial cultivation, or impractical just for home growers to flower something for 16 to 24 weeks or something is just ridiculous. So if we can, it's never going to be the exact same, but if we can bring some of those traits, into a faster flowering, more accessible autoflower format, I think that'd be really cool. And the same with the miners, same with the freaks and the mutants. I think there's so much potential there for like, especially for the incognito grows. Like I would love to have a field of freak shows or ABC type leaf mutations, but with quality. So it all comes with inbreeding and working with other high quality ingredients. That's how I see it. It's kind of like a chef. It's working with other high quality genetics to improve autoflowers, to improve mutants, to just improve the gene pool in general. That would be my general goal. But I also I release polyhybrids. I release F1s, F2s, F3s, F4s. I am working on my first F5 also this fall, so that will be one coming out. It's the rainbow guava one. I'm going to take it all the way to F5 before a release for the specific pheno I was after, so that'll be coming out next year. But yeah, I know some people are really into. Some people only release polyhybrids. Some people only release inbred work. But I release any and all. I think it all has a place, and I like to have intent and say what that place is and what I was after. It's not always just a shot in the dark or anything. I usually have some specific goals I'm after, but I will do a wide shotgun shot to make sure a lot of it's not going to hit. So at least I can hit a couple with my target, if that makes sense. Sorry.
Oh, no, it makes perfect sense. I appreciate all of that. Like, yeah, you really have a great intent on your breeding. So I love that.
But also philosophy-wise, it's really just all about the home grower. I'm not opposed to making something that has commercial appeal or application. And I think that was some of the thought process behind this rainbow guava project is like, oh, we need more hash washing strains in the autoflower gene pool. So this here was a photo period that had really, shout out to Mr. Autogrow, who hunted this beautiful plant from Bloom Seed Company and sent me the cuts to work with and collabing with me on this. So that was when I was like, oh, we need more hasher autos. That's one of the things that people complain about the autos is like they don't dump. And so specifically going after a goal like that is part of the philosophy. But anyway, I was saying those can have commercial appeal, but I'm really after just like making things for the home grower. That's what I see the true value in this plant is not buying it from a store that's heavily taxed and you don't know exactly how it was grown or who grew it. Or I think it's all about the person who buys a seed that sounds like something they might enjoy and puts a lot of love and care into the grow, and they're going to be the ones consuming it. And that's what I'm all about. I like watching and helping and encouraging and teaching people to grow their own medicine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way. Well, will you discuss the importance of terpene profiles within your breeding projects?
Yeah, that's like a huge part of mine. Again, I think a lot of it just goes back to being a chef and former beverage developer and things like that. Is aroma and taste are such a big part of cannabis. But beyond that, they really are also dictating the effects a lot, and having big terpene profiles. Who doesn't want like a nice loud strain? But those are also the ones that tend to be more potent and have more distinct effects than something that's maybe over dried and lost its terps or whatever. And I'm not saying my plants can't be over dried and lose their terps. They certainly can. But yeah, terpenes are important, and it's usually the top priority. I don't necessarily breed for yield or structure nearly as much as I'm chasing terpene profiles. So yeah, for me, I think there's a lot of medicinal value. There's a lot of value in the effects, and sometimes autos, the size and the shape can be more about the grower's abilities, and are they using auto pots or a 1 gallon fabric pot? Obviously, the auto pot person is going to get a much bigger plant and things, but I feel like if I'm chasing after the terps and the resin qualities beyond just the terpenes, the overall resin qualities is something I look at very closely. How much resin, how big are the heads? It's not always, I'm not only after big heads. Like, for example, Blue Zaressa was one of mine that like it looks extremely frosty and has great bag appeal and is a great strain, don't get me wrong. But if you look up close, the heads are actually very small. And it just has long trichome stalks. So it's not exactly a great one for concentrates or washing or anything like that, but it's an awesome flower strain, has great terps, so it still had a lot of the qualities I wanted, but wasn't exactly, it's not always after just the big resin heads. So.
Oh, for sure. What is your preferred method for feminizing seeds, and what are its advantages?
I use STS. It's silver thiosulfate. I have tried colloidal silver my very first times with some photo periods, and I didn't have success. So I quickly found out about STS with just some online research, found a recipe and forums, and that's what I've been using ever since. And I just bought my own base ingredients, the silver nitrate and the sodium thiosulfate. And it's so whenever you need a batch, you just keep some distilled water and these dry powders on hand, and you measure it out, mix it up. It's very simple. I've been I haven't tweaked the recipe at all in the years I've been using it. It's been very consistent and it's worked every time. certain strains won't dump as much pollen as others, and that's where it could either be the spray schedule or just the genetics themselves. But I have tweaked my spray schedule over the years and have moved to doing it earlier and earlier, and now I'm doing it on around like day 10 to 12 to start a reversal plant for an autoflower, which is early. You don't know a ton about the plants at that stage, but it takes a while to get the full reversal before you're dumping pollen. So you need to do a few and keep an eye on them, and start to narrow it down as you see more traits emerge before making your final selection.
Gotcha. What is your
STS? Yeah, sorry.
STS? No worries. What is your testing program like?
Again, something that's just like always changing, always evolving, and not consistent between grow to grow or plant to plant or every drop. But in general, I like to test everything twice. I'll generally just like things I'm interested in or things that I think have good potential. I'll just do kind of like big grows, try to grow a few, 2 or 3 of a bunch of different plants that I've bred. And then once I've kind of like seen initially, like, okay, this one might have had some freaky issues, I won't mess with those. But these like had some really nice traits. Okay, I think those have potential. Let me grow them out again, more of them, make sure it's what I'm after. I'm also going to like pay a lot closer attention to all the various traits and taking notes and photographing the plants and things, which sometimes I do a better job of than others. But I also I like to send out tester seeds. I include them in all of my packs and drops. Anything that comes as a freebie tester, I've probably grown a couple of them, but I wouldn't say I've grown enough to like say that they're thoroughly tested or anything. So I do love seeing the community feedback in those testers. But I also there's over the years, there's just been a handful of people, the Grateful Gardener and Reverend Pirate Frog and Gannick, and people that have just grow a lot of my plants or consistently always growing my plants and do a great job of sharing and updating photos very regularly. And so as I've seen these people, I often send, these type of growers, some tester seeds, and if they have the opportunity and the time and the space to grow it, it's very helpful for me. It doesn't always work out timing wise to make that happen, but I usually love to have at least a couple community members who have tested and given me some feedback too. But definitely it's always in-house tested, usually twice.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you handle customer complaints?
I fortunately haven't had too many. I'm trying to some of the older complaints were my drops would sell out too fast, and some people would have the item in their cart, and if someone checked out faster than them, they would get cart robbed. So that used to be an older complaint.
Gotcha.
My more recent drops haven't sold out so quickly, so that hasn't really been an issue, in the last year or so. Everyone has been super kind and respectful. I haven't had many complaints, and any that I have had, in reference to the genetics or anything, which I literally can't think of any. I offered and sent seeds, replacements or anything. I'm sure there's been something in the years, but nothing specific that comes to mind. I've been very blessed that the people who support me have become such a small, tight community of all the people.
For
and
sure.
they're just straight up good people, and they understand, and if there's an issue that will correct it. I've never really have to deal with bad customers. That's a new one on me.
Okay. Would you please explain on how you got into creating the packaging that you offer with your seeds?
Yeah. I mean, we see it as not just a seed release, but very much like a full-on art project. I originally, it was inspired by some other breeders out there, and certain things that I liked about. I took some of my favorite parts of other companies and what they were doing and kind of like spun it into my own. I always liked the, Mephisto with their strains. They had a custom artwork with each strain. It was so cool, but you didn't actually like get a sticker or anything of the artwork when you bought the strain. And so I was like, that seems like a missed opportunity. And so that was one of the original inspirations, was just like, okay, we're always going to have like a creature, an Alebrije creature represent each strain. And we're always going to get a different artist. We've had some repeat artists and we will continue, I'm sure, but like try to have like a pretty eclectic mix of artist styles and things. So they all come out a little different. But we'll always have this creature, and we'll always include like a pin. I'd gotten some pins from Night Owl that I thought were really cool, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like always have a pin and always have a sticker of the strain art, so that comes with the strain pack. So that was one of the original inspirations. And then just some of the others I saw I liked were just more brightly colored, and I always like the hand stamp things. It just gives it more of like a feel that, a real person was behind this, and it's not just a massive packaging machine printing out packages and things. So it had that hand feel touch, and the wax was always something that my wife and I were planning to open a whiskey distillery many years ago, and we had always talked about, we always liked the wax dipped bottles. And I always thought that would be a cool thing. So that just immediately transferred over to, got off the alcohol and we're focused on this project. It was like some of those ideas were actually kind of spawned over from some of our previous Mexican whiskey ideas as far as the art and things go too. But yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. It can be very labor intensive, to be honest. I hand stamp 5 different stamps on every single package, and the wife counts out and hand fills every little seed vial, and each package these days comes with 3 different strains, and then she waxes each one, and then we assemble the packages, and she waxes the outside, and then I'm painting all the outer shell boxes, and we have all the little stickers and pins and things that come with it inside. So it's quite the production at our house when we're putting together a drop, but we have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I love the attention to detail that you do with your packaging. It's phenomenal.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. All right, well, this is the last question before the hot seat. What advice would you give to an inspiring cannabis breeder looking to start their own project?
I'd say, start with some great genetics that you really like. Make what's to your tastes for sure. That way, if no one else likes it, at least you do. But
Sure.
yeah, I'd say just like start off with one project. Maybe don't go too crazy, and just like I really respect Flam a lot. That like one of his first projects was the Dark R Haze, which he originally made the cross of 2 different Night Owl strains, but then Night Owl ended up releasing the same cross. So I think he took that lead and worked with that. But it was his first project, and he took it all the way to an F4 before ever releasing it, and like spent some time, really got to know the strain in and out, and decided it was one he really liked and really wanted to work with, and saw what it was like over generations, and took his time with it. And I did the same with my original Stardog Skywalker project. It took me several years, and it was like after putting in all the work that I was like, I think I had fun with this. I think I want to start a little company doing this. But I'd say like just pick a project that you can sink your teeth into with some goals, and like go after it. Spend some time on it. Don't do it to go out and make money. It's not a great money making, avenue. This isn't going to be a full-time job unless you like really, come up with some amazing stuff and bust your ass. But I would say, yeah, just find something you can sink your teeth into and have fun that you really enjoy, and work an inbred line of it. And then if you had fun doing all that, then use that inbred line, make some new crosses, and then maybe start, selling your seeds or whatever.
Awesome. Solid advice, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you ready for the hot seat?
Let's do it.
All right. Which band or artist did you see for your first concert and venue?
Um, very first one actually was probably out in the streets. It was like a pretty historical event at the time. It was called Panic in the Streets. It was widespread panic.
What?
And it was like the largest CD release party ever at the time. This was like back in 97, 98. I was just like
Wow.
10-year-old kid. And I wouldn't say I was actually like there, listening to the music. There were literally like tens of thousands of people out in the streets. And it was a pretty chaotic event, but it was looking back, cool. It's cool that I can listen to the album and see videos of what was technically my first concert. But first one, I'd say more like I was actually there listening to the music was Drive-By Truckers at the 40 Watt.
Nice.
Yeah, good one.
Hell yeah. All right. What was your favorite song when you were 16?
Ooh, that would have been might even still be up there. Is the Ocean by Led Zeppelin.
Ooh.
Led Zeppelin's still probably my all-time favorite band, I would say.
Oh, hell yeah. Love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I just added some songs recently during my trip to Chicago, some Led Zeppelin songs to my playlist.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Did you see the Becoming Led Zeppelin documentary that came out this past year?
No, I have not.
Oh, you got to. It's a must.
Okay.
See. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll check that out. I appreciate that. What was your first audio tape that you purchased?
First audio tape. I may have been a little young. I think my first
we'll do
first
CD.
compact disc was probably I think it was the D3 Mighty Ducks soundtrack.
For real?
Which had some like classic, like We Will Rock You by Queen and things like that.
Oh, that's great.
I loved the Mighty Ducks when I was a kid.
I did too.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love it. Do you play any musical instruments?
I have a guitar, and I've had a guitar since I was a teenager, and it's something like I wouldn't say I play. I'm self-taught, and I just literally look up like Led Zeppelin tabs online and like just try to learn some of the main riffs or some Grateful Dead riffs or things.
There you go.
But no, I'm not much of a guitarist, but I love music and very much appreciate all those who have the talent.
Oh, for sure. Have you met a musical artist or band in person? This could be at a meet and greet or out in the wild.
Yeah. Come from a pretty like music heavy town. I've met Michael Stipe and Bill Berry of REM. I've met Widespread Panic backstage at a show. Met Drive-By Truckers multiple times backstage. Those are the main ones that come to mind, or more bands from my area.
Awesome. What is the most surprising opener you've seen perform live?
A surprising opener. Ooh, that's a good one. I'll say it was Mike Love opening for Stephen Marley. This was a couple of years ago. I think it was 2023. And I heard Mike Love, but didn't know much about him. And really loved his music and loved seeing him live. And that was just like a really special one that like I hadn't expected. And it was really cool. And have been more into his music ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's several people in the community that like Mike Love.
Yeah, sure. I know Flam is like a diehard, and
for sure
invited me out to Utah earlier this year to like go see him at this small venue, and I couldn't make it, but I know he's super big fan.
Heck yeah. Which band or artist has been your favorite to see perform live in the venue?
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, I saw a great show. It was probably My Morning Jacket was opening for Tom Petty at Meadowlands in New Jersey. It was a really just cool show. Yeah,
I'd love to see Tom Petty.
I was really glad I saw him. when I had the chance. And honestly, I was probably going more for My Morning Jacket. But really, like, as soon as Petty came on and was playing all his classics, it was special for sure.
Heck yeah. If you could make your own music festival lineup, who would be your top 3 headliners? This could be dead or alive, and this is going to be the Alebrije Music Festival. So give it your best shot, sir.
Well, it's going to be pretty big headliners. It's going to be Led Zeppelin, the Grateful Dead, and Bob Marley are taking the stage, I think.
Oh shit!
I mean, I have many more that I would love to see, but like, I think those 3 would just be pretty iconic, and especially if it was in their primes, you know.
Oh, for sure, dude. That would be an amazing festival.
Yeah, right.
100%.
Yeah, no small timers here. All the big headliners for sure.
Dude, it's gonna be like the biggest smoke cloud for sure in that festival.
Imagine seeing that as a Led Zeppelin, Grateful Dead, and Bob Marley headline. Jesus, yeah,
right?
That would be epic for sure.
Absolutely. Which song instantly hypes you up?
Ooh, that's a good one. Still, I mean, I love rap music. It's probably mostly rap songs. Trying to think if there's a specific one. Lots of Big Boy and Outkast kind of stuff hypes me up. But I'll go with "Win" by J Rock. Win, 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 win. Fuck everything else. Win, win, win. That one used to be like, you know, if you're like gonna compete in sports or something, it's like,
oh, that's great.
Yeah, fuck everything else. Yeah, definitely a good hype up song for sure.
I love it. That's great. Thank you. All right, what's a band or artist that you feel is completely underrated?
Ooh, I love this band. I've been listening to a lot this week, actually. I mean, I've been listening to them for years, but actually, just for the pop up, I downloaded the Spotify Premium, and so I've been like this past week. It was like, hell yeah! So like, finally have access to all these great albums I used to listen to. There's one band I love from New Zealand. I think they're totally underrated. I never hear them mentioned ever. Is Fat Freddy's Drop.
Okay.
And they're kind of like reggae meets ska meets just, I don't know, upbeat, good energy, lots of brass instruments. I think they have a big, like, you know, 12 or 14 piece band or something. But that would be one I would also most like to see live too. That's out there that I haven't had the chance.
I might have to check that out after the show.
Yeah, they're killer.
Hell yeah. Name a band or artist that you would like to see perform live that you've never seen before.
We'll go with Fat Freddy's Drop on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They're probably like top of the list of ones I would love to see.
Hell yeah. Which cultivar would you pair with an album?
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I'll go Sonny Tibawawa. I did this multiple times this week, so I can confidently say it. Sonny Tibawawa with the album Blackbird by Fat Freddy's Drop is a really good combo. Just like out walking the dogs and just like doing stuff during the day for like good, positive, uplifting vibes. Those are a good combo. But like a more classic combo I've done before, listen to a lot of vinyl albums, and we mostly collect like old jazz vinyls. And
nice.
I really like, my all-time favorite is Miles Davis, Kinda Blue, and like Blue Zerosa with Kinda Blue on the background on like a chill rainy day. It's like a very mellow vibe in the house. My bass at home loves that album, and like immediately just take a nap on the couch and everybody's chilling.
Dude, I love both of those answers. That was great. I love that. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, this is a new question. What was your favorite movie growing up?
Ooh, good question. I don't remember exactly as a kid. Maybe like one of my all-time favorites from the year it came out, Beyond, was Gladiator. And I love historical epic movies like Gladiator and Kingdom of Heaven, and those type are like some of my favorites. But maybe not growing up, but when I was a teen, I would say.
Nice. Yeah, I'll go ahead and answer mine.
Yeah,
just
what's yours?
because mine is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ah,
I watched that movie when I was growing up. I'm like, how in the world did that dude do that all in one day? Like, I was so jealous. And we were in Chicago.
yeah, so I was gonna say,
recently,
like, we literally, my wife and I watched that movie like a month ago, and it was the inspiration for a lot of our plans for Chicago. We're like, oh, holy shit! We went to the Art Institute, we went to a Cubs game, we did the Chicago 360, the view where they're standing out. We're like, he totally like it was all inspired by Ferris Bueller for sure.
Oh my god, that's so great! I'm so glad you did all that.
That's such a great movie. Yeah, it holds up well in time.
For sure, man. Absolutely.
Edward Rooney cracks me up.
Oh yes, for sure. 100%. All right. If you got bit by a spider, name 3 completely random superpowers you'd get.
Ooh, I'll say teleportation would be a cool one.
Absolutely.
I love travel, and I love the all the logistics of travel when you're going somewhere. But then when you're coming home from vacation, you just want to be home. I hate going through the airports on the way back.
Oh, yes.
Waiting for luggage, and then we live an hour and a half from the airports, and then we have to drive home. If I could just teleport home after a trip, that would be great. I'd still fly and go through all of it on the way there.
You would teleport to the airport.
No. I would fly there, and like the excitement of going to the airport when you're leaving on a trip. I'll still do all that. But
you're gonna teleport home.
I'm just gonna tell. That's my power. Would only be being able to teleport home. Back to my safe space when I need. All right, so there's one. Wow, 3 of these. One would be maybe I'd eliminate my ceiling, so I could just keep getting higher and higher and higher all the time. That would be cool.
Dude, hold up. 2 thumbs up for that. Yes.
That's one the adult me is like sometimes misses that like teenage endocannabinoid system when I could just get skyrocketed.
Yes.
Those days are gone. And then let's see. Let's say my third superpower would just be like perfect health. In any issue, I could just like zap it with my mind, and like I'd be perfectly healthy all the time. And happy. Let's add happy too. Happy and healthy all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one.
100%, dude. That's a great answer. I love it. Thank you. All right. Which terps and or smells are your favorite?
I'm again, like all my stuff I like in the really fruity and funky realm. I like when things like are very specific and you can like really like, oh, that's grapefruit, or oh, that's blueberry. I do love just like a solid specific fruit, but I like it to like be backed up by like some rank funkiness that just like you only get from cannabis, So like some of the tangy tuba guana profiles that are like this grapefruit with some sweet bakery goods, but also like a little funky lactobacillus kind of thing going on. Like that's probably some of my top profiles. I do really like blueberry strains as well, and we'll probably like revisit Blues Rosso and go back and do some other blueberry projects at some point. Who doesn't love blueberry?
Oh, for sure. Blueberry is my favorite. So yeah, I understand. If you could design the best cultivar for yourself, what would be in it and why?
It would be along the lines of tangy CBG. I really like the big loud fruit profiles just for the enjoyment of them. But as far as like the effects, that one was just so like what I love out of cannabis is anti-anxiety, antidepressant. I want just like that mood elevated and just to be feeling good. But I also want all the anti-inflammatory properties, and I want my muscles and body to just also feel relaxed and great. And so having some higher CBG has really seemed to help with that. So tangy CBG would be up there as far as like strains that just really work great for my body. And it's definitely one I'm going to go back to working it forward at some point.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite pothead memory?
Ooh, God. One in particular would just be like when I'm 420, my freshman year of college. I allegedly sold some weed back, and there was one specific fraternity where like a bunch of my friends were in it, and I was just always hanging out there, slanging Smurf and smoking with all the guys. And we set up like a big tent in their living room for 420, and like a bunch of us camped out in it. And like we woke up at 420 in the morning, like hotboxed the shit out of the tent.
Oh.
And then we all bailed on class all day, and we smoked the rest of the day. And then Bone Thugs and Harmony played that night, and went to Bone Thugs show. And yeah, it was like the best 420 you could ask for.
Jesus, that's a great 420, man.
Yeah.
Oh, super jealous.
I know. That's why I've like laughed at my recent 420s. It's like, man, I used to like go all out in college and things, and in my early 20s and like in more recent years, like it's like I'll just like maybe buy some seeds online and watch Harold and Kumar for the 1,000th time or something.
Right. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to bring back those old 420 days, bro.
I know. Well, you guys are always going to Hash Bash now. I'm gonna have to that seems like a good way to celebrate for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you need to come up to Hash Bash, man. It'd be so much fun.
I do.
All right. Have you ever had an experience with cannabis and law enforcement that you are willing to share? No worries if you don't want to share.
Sure. Yeah, back in that same freshman year of college, I was like sitting around with a couple of my buddies, and it was the summer, and it was in that same fraternity house. And I guess like a back door had been left open. And so the campus police just like busted in and was like, freeze, like immediately. And I like slung everything behind the sofa, and they caught us pretty quick, and turned me over to the actual city police and stuff. And I went in with a felony charge for distribution, but the charges got dropped because I had a great lawyer who was my judge was his former file clerk. So he was able to pull some strings, and they did my trial in front of a group of students. It was like one of my punishments to like lighten the sentence. And then I just did a year of probation, paid a small fine. And
Wow.
yeah, so like that whole year I like didn't smoke weed. I did like once right after a drug test when I knew I had like a couple months before the next one. I did smoke once, but I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos that year of this guy in Amsterdam. His old YouTube name was Hashbean420. And he would just like have these huge bongs and take these monster bong rips. And for some reason that would just like do it for me. I was like, oh God, at least someone is getting, stoned. This makes me feel better. But
for sure.
Yeah. So I went down, but they're not going to stop me.
Damn right. I feel you, brother. All right. This is a new question. What is your favorite board game?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Like Monopoly is a classic that I've always just enjoyed. Monopoly. I don't play a ton of board games, to be honest, but I like the other one. Maybe it isn't considered a board game, but it'd be in the same genre of like family night kind of games. Is it Balderdash? Is that the one where you like write a word from the dictionary or something? It's like an obscure word, and people have to make up definitions for it. And then you read out all the definitions, and everyone guesses which they think is the real one. And so you try to find a word that like is kind of obscure, and it would like have an odd definition that you would never think that was what it was. But I think it's called
Right.
balderdash. That's another fun one I like.
Huh. Yeah, I've never heard of it. All right. What was your first cannabis event?
Believe it or not, I've only ever been to my, if you don't count 420 concerts, I've only ever been to my own 3 cannabis events.
Oh, really?
So my very first one was 2023 at Homegrown, Virginia in Richmond. I did my first pop-up there and gave a little class on Autoflowers 101 and got to meet the Grateful Gardener and a bunch of other homies and had a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm hoping this next year to get out a little more, and I realize I need to get beyond my own events and get out into the community and like hit up some other events more in the Midwest and New England and Virginia, and
Heck yeah.
got to get out there.
Oh, for sure. Who was the first growmy you met in the community?
Probably grateful.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Shout out, brother. Grateful's been a good dude. He's been so supportive all along.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he is great. Which growmy from the community are you looking forward to meeting?
I was honestly glad I got to meet so many this past round. I will say BGG. I would love to meet the big green guy. He's also been like such an amazing supporter this whole time. I think he's gotten like every single drop. And I mad respect for the work he does. I know he's such a great guy and so good for all the giveaways and all he does for the community. And yeah, I'd love to meet him in person and smoke with him.
Oh, for sure. Well, he is coming to Hash Bash next year, so
Right on.
Might want to keep that in mind.
I definitely will.
Which event or location would you like to attend with your fellow growmy? This could be an event that you've never been to before.
Okay. Yeah, for a long time I've been wanting to go to Spanibus.
Oh, yeah.
And I know this past year was like the last one in Barcelona, and they're moving it to Bilbao, I think. And honestly, Bilbao is where I lived for 6 months in Spain, and so like have a lot of good memories and a lot of weed memories there. So yeah, I would love to get out to Spanibus and meet more of the European homies. Seems like one of the better events of the world, honestly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely want to go to Spanibus.
And it seems like a lot of these events, it seems like it's not even the main core event necessarily. That's what's so awesome. It's a lot of the like side events, and it's just like, getting everybody, in the grow community and the industry in town. And then there's a bunch of like little spin-off events on the side in the same week. It seems like a lot of those are even, where the real fun is at.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. All right. Oh, shoot. All right. If you had one cultivar of cannabis to consume for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, tough one. It needs to be, I'll probably say Sunny Tibawawa. Honestly, it can like, just because it can span the gauntlet, it can really be a great uplifting daytime strain, with lower doses, and higher doses it could be a great nighttime strain, and it hits my head, I get some body high, and yeah, it checks pretty much all the boxes that I could want, and if I only had one strain to go on. Sunny T.
Awesome. What's your go-to method to consume cannabis?
These days I do a lot more vaping. The Mighty Plus is what I've been puffing on here today. Nice. The Volcano is another one. But I also, for rosin, I love the Puffco Proxy. But I love a good just bong rip. Honestly, will hit me good.
Hell yeah!
I love joints. I love rolling them. Consuming them isn't always my favorite. I like the first few puffs, and then by the time I'm like getting down. I'm like, oh, okay, like my wife doesn't enjoy them as much either, so I'm usually smoking them by myself, and yeah, just a little more tough on the lungs and the throat, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I switched over to the venti recently. I mean, I'm still smoking joints, but I'm smoking more of the venti now, just to kind of give my lungs a break.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, just like in the recent years, just switching off and like I'll rip the bong every day for a couple months, but then I'll like take several months where it's like straight up vape only, and even that maybe mild. Like maybe I'm just doing more edibles through the day and the evening, and
Right.
just a little puff here or there. But it's good to like switch up your routine at times to just get whatever you're doing the most, give it a little break.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Excellent advice, by the way.
Because even on like the Mighty Plus, like if I use it too much, then I'm taking so many pulls of just warm air on my esophagus, and sometimes it's like honestly, just a single bong rip would be a little less invasive, maybe. And like, well, the vaping's milder than smoking. Sometimes one hit versus 30 hits in a day is a good break for the lungs.
Oh, for sure. What's a stoner myth that you think is total bullshit?
Stoner myth, it's total bullshit. Um, Trying to think. I can't even like no real stoner myths are even coming to mind. You got any examples?
Well, the main stoner myth that everybody says is mainly like that we're lazy and
Oh, okay. Yeah, like about personalities or something. Yeah, I would
yeah,
totally. Yeah, that's totally a myth. I think cannabis users are some of the most like go-getters I know. It does, like, I see where the myth spawns from. There's certain strains and certain times where it can very much
right,
inhibit your
yeah,
your motivation and drive, but at the same time, to like say that that's a blanket across all users is totally false. Like there's obviously plenty of very successful musicians and artists, and every profession, doctors out there, lawyers. I think there's so many cannabis users that yeah, you could never like actually think that claim holds up.
right, for sure. Well, next question is there a cultivar that you're interested in trying to grow that you've never grown?
Oh yeah, there's probably a lot of them. Some of just like the old stuff. I would love to grow like a straight up some of the Chem dogs, like the Chem D and the Chem 91,
Yeah.
papaya, uh, Trop cookies is another one. I would love to just try the straight up original strains.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I feel you on those. I like that old stuff.
Yeah, tons of like we could say almost every land race is what like I would love to just like try all the various Thai and Lao and
Ooh, yes.
Cambodian strains, as well as all the old Afghanis and Pakis and Indian strains, and all the Mexican, Colombian. I lover of cannabis. I would love to try it all.
Absolutely. What is your all-time favorite cultivar and why?
All time favorite and why? Let's see. I mean, I'll just go with the tangy tibaguana. It's just been one I love the effects of. I love the grow, and I love what it does in various breeding projects and crosses, and it's probably just become my most like staple genetics to work with. The effects and the aromas are all hit my palate great. So yeah, I'll go tangy.
Awesome. Yeah, Tangy Tea Baguana is a fantastic, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Who are some of your favorite breeders?
I like in the photo period world, mad respect for Bloom Seed Company. I think what he's doing some really amazing work on the resin front. Uh, on the autoflower side, I will say definitely Night Owl Seeds. Daz is a hero of mine, a big inspiration to me. Seeing the work he's done and his philosophies on bringing over these clone-only photo periods and converting them into autoflowers is just impressive, and yeah, it has a lot of the same values I look for, and yeah, those would be two of my favorites.
Oh yeah. Do you have a favorite cannabis related movie and or TV show?
Yeah. Choosing which one would be the favorite might be the tough one.
Well, if you have to do,
top few would be like
top few, that's fine.
Grandma's Boy, Harold and Kumar, Half Baked, and How High would probably be like my top four, like old school from even back when I was in high school. I've just seen all those movies a million times. Love them.
All those are great, sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. If you could have a smoke session with anyone dead, who would it be?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I would say it'd be cool to like someone in my family line would be cool. I am a descendant of Davy Crockett on my mom's side.
For real?
It'd be cool to burn one with old Davy out in the woods, and
that would be great.
Hear some tales.
For real. Oh, I love that answer. All right. Well, same question, but alive.
Alive. I would say let's go with Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin. He also would probably have some very cool stories to tell.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. All right. Well, this is the last question of the hot seat. Do you have a favorite cannabis podcast, and who are they if you have multiples?
Yeah. Well, first, I love all the community cannabis podcasts. So shout out to Cultivation Conversation, YAG, Crafting Cannabis, all you Grateful Nerd, Paranoid. I love all the community podcasts. I listen to them regularly, all week, every week. But my all-time favorite cannabis podcast is the Podcast, hosted by Heavy Days,
nice,
from Australia. I just like all the amazing breeders and history and stories that he's compiled on that show is just incredible, and I've learned so much from and he's so intelligent with all his like interview questions, as are you, by the way. Your interview questions are very thorough, and you really seem like you get to know the person quite well. But yeah, Heavy Days always also has some great questions and is able to dive deep with the individual to get them to tell their story.
Nice. Oh yeah. Well, the next segment is Thank a Growmy. Each week I thank a Growmy in the community, and I also encourage you to thank a Growmy as well. I know I'd say tough times. There are tough times during the summertime too. You still got bills. You still, traveling. Your car breaks down on the way, which I know there was somebody in the community that happened to them on the way to your pop up.
Multiple people.
Yeah. So it's like you don't realize that there's other stuff happening in life other than what you have going on in your life, and it's rough. And it's nice to be able to hear a thank you from a Growmy. So I'm gonna go ahead and thank you while I have you here. First off, I'm going to thank you for throwing this pop-up and creating a safe space for us Growmies to connect. You definitely are inspiring me to throw my own event for the community. So I'm going to be going forth on that. So also, I would like to thank you for putting the work into creating your amazing genetics. Like, it really does show how much work you're doing. Like, even just going to this pop up, and then the packaging that we get in the mail from your seed drops, and then the mugs and the hoodies, and I mean just all the stuff. You're going above and beyond a lot of people that are in this cannabis community, and I certainly appreciate it. I know a lot of people, like everybody I've talked to, everybody's like, "Dude, Alebrije's got some amazing stuff going on," and I'm like, yeah, this dude's fucking amazing. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Well, dude, thank you so much. That means the world to me, honestly, and I love this community, and I hope to see you put something together too. I'll be there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Um, yeah, let me start by just thanking specifically everyone that came out to the pop up. That was awesome to get so many like-minded people together. It was awesome to meet so many of the people that I've chatted with, and also see so many familiar faces that I had met the previous couple of years. So thanks to everybody who came. It was such a blast. Thanks to you for having me on here today and chatting about it. And then above and beyond, I want to specifically thank Mr. and Mrs. Dad Terps for all those badass gift bags and all the edibles. Thanks to all of you guys who brought edibles. That was so much fun. And then I want to thank Cumin, Indo, Grateful, Organic, and I think that was of people that just like gifted me some cannabis at the event, and I might have mailed myself a little package home, and it's been awesome having some different growers and some different mediums, and just like sometimes it's nice to just smoke some weed that isn't your own, you know.
Oh,
And
for sure.
it's really cool to just like, yeah, we've really been enjoying all those guys great work this past week. It's been fun to try all their flower for a change. So thank you to all you guys, and just thanks to everybody that came out.
Absolutely. The next segment is upcoming events. Do you have any upcoming events that you're looking forward to, whether it's cannabis or music or any other type of relation events that you have going on?
No specific cannabis ones in line. I would love to go to Hash Bash. We might be selling our house in the spring and moving,
Oh,
so
wow.
it might be timing wise. We'll see. But hoping to go to, or planning to go to Thievery Corporation in December.
Ooh.
Seen them before. It's a fun show. So
Ah,
that's the only thing I think I really have on the books.
yeah, I love Thievery Corporation. They're really good.
So much fun live. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen them live, so yeah, I definitely.
Well, great recorded music as well. I've got a few of their vinyls too. They're just fun to throw on and chill.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, I'm going to see Weird Al Yankovic in Nashville with my sister next weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I bought these tickets a year ago, so like it's finally coming next weekend. So I'm looking.
Oh my God, what an
forward to that.
icon! I mean,
Right?
yeah, grew up. He was one of the first CDs I had, was that one. It was Running with Scissors. I just remember the cover of the album. But
Oh, that's
classic.
great. Hell yeah.
That'll be so much fun. Oh my God.
Yep. And then the following weekend, I am going to Oceans Calling Music Festival. I'm going with Blackwater, Mrs. Blackwater, and the Terp Therapist.
Oh, hell yeah. That'll be a fun crowd.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to going out there and hanging out with them on the beach and
who's headlining that?
Oh gosh, you would ask me that.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry.
I'm sorry. I should have been more prepared.
No, that's okay. No, don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I'll look it up after.
Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to that, and we're also going to be meeting up with Early Bird while we're out there. So I'm looking forward to hanging out with some more growmies here soon.
Nice. Yeah, those are other three that would be high on my list of people I would like to meet, are Rudy, Blackwater, and Early Bird. Man,
oh, for sure.
Love what those guys do too.
Absolutely. And then the weekend after that, I'm going to Sleep Token in Denver.
You're a busy man.
I'm a busy man. These tickets were bought like 9 months ago, so it's one of those things. It's finally coming in the mix.
I would love to be a fly on the wall as you're making your calendar for the next 6 months, man.
Right? Oh yeah, I know. It's insane. Yeah. I'm planning on meeting Diabetic while I'm out there in Denver.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to make some time and go smoke with him and hang out.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh,
Isn't it nice having these growmies all over the country? And it's like, oh, I'm
right?
going to be in this city or this corner, and it's like, oh, who lives there? Oh, here's 2 or 3 guys. Like, you guys want
Yep.
to chat, hang, smoke? Yeah,
Pretty
sure.
much.
Hell
Hell
yeah, I
yeah,
love
dude.
it, dude. Good on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, it's definitely nice having the Discord and Instagram community, being able to reach out. That's how like a lot of people I've met is just mainly through Instagram and Discord.
Totally same. Yeah.
So, well, this is the end of the show. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the opportunity to give out your socials.
Yeah. I think I don't really do Instagram very much anymore, but I still have the page. It's alebrije.genetics. And then my Discord, you can find the link on the homepage of my website. There's a little Discord icon link. It's just alebrijegenetics.com, and you can find the link there. And Discord is really where the action is these days, I would say. That's at least where I'm checking in more often. So yeah, you can find me over there, and also on the homepage, I always put there's a place where you can sign up and subscribe to our zine, which used to be monthly, but now it's as I feel like it. You gotta be a bit much to try to like always try to crank one out every month. I did for the first year, but these days it's just as I've got something to say, a zine will come out. But you can subscribe there with your email address if you wanna get those.
Awesome. Well, everyone listening and watching, thank you. I hope you're out there having a wonderful time. Thank you, Alebrije, for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast.
Hell yeah. See ya.
See ya.